really eat 35 jelly beans in 5 minutes? And I was like, yes. What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today we are going to be doing a get ready with me, trying a bunch of new stuff that I have not gotten to review for you guys. I feel like even though I'm on like a low buy this month, I'm way behind. I think it's just because I have just had like a backlog in my brain. That's why I end up doing like a mid-year low buy, is to just play catch up. So we didn't really get to talk about the Patrick Ta new blush situation. Didn't get to talk about the Uma foundation yet. I've been using it a lot and I really like it, but I want to show it to you guys. I have a new primer from Thrive. I have some stuff from Salt New York. I have a couple of things that I want to get back into and like touch again and kind of show you guys on camera, and we're gonna wing it in that sense and just kind of chat about life. So I hope that you guys like these kind of fun chatty videos where we just catch up and everything. I have a lot going on in my life. I know you guys do too. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna move you in and we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm super excited to try this. I've only tried this on the back of my hand so far. Thrive just sent this to me. This is their new Filtered Effects Blurring Primer. History has taught me to check when I say things like blurring, whether I'm in focus. Okay, so this is a blurring primer. And thank God, because what is that? That was a zit that was trying to come up for a really, really long time. And the other day it finally came up and it hurt. And I was like, it's gonna, and like, I have a wound now. Like, so I'm pretty sure this is like super dimethicone, silicone, whatever. Oh, that is funky feeling. It has a nice like natural smell to it. Not like a fragrance, but just, I think the ingredients smell pleasant. It's got kind of like a funny, I don't know, transforms into something on my skin. That's kind of interesting. It's funky. Maybe it's like combining with other things that I have on my face right now. Yeah, that's total first impression. One thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about today, I know that I said in my mid-year favorites, I know we all want 2020 to be over, but you know, it's not. But anyway, yeah, my mid-year best of the best, I talked about how I was kind of not wanting to be in the skincare conversation on YouTube because I feel like it's kind of toxic, which is ironic because it's like really focused around the word toxic and non-toxic and things like that. I think this is too much makeup. We're gonna try and spread her out. Hopefully that primer gives us enough slip. This is the Uma. I do love this. Everybody says that they like it when they want like a full coverage day. What's wild is how thin it is. So it is full coverage, or can build to full coverage, but it's super, super lightweight on the skin. I like don't want to block my freckles out. Can we just like leave those? I like some of them. I was talking about how I wasn't really interested in being part of that conversation on YouTube because I feel like people like Caroline Hirons, they just occupy the conversation, you know what I mean? They occupy the entire space. They just fill it up, you know? And I got a lot of disappointed messages. I'm just going in with a little bit of color correction. Try and put a little less makeup on my face. I think that color correction can really help with that. But anyway, I still want to share like my skincare routine videos and stuff like that. I just don't want to be an authority on it. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. Cause like I used to get a lot of messages from people asking me really, really in-depth, like borderline medical questions about skincare and my advice about their skin type and stuff like that. I make videos on the internet. That does not make me an expert on anyone else's skin but my own. And so I always felt really bad just being like, I don't know, you know, and I don't want to like disseminate information when I definitely don't know. But I feel fine talking about like what's working for me, especially when it comes to pregnancy where everything is a freaking mystery. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. We have a lot to talk about pregnancy right now, but yeah, so I have moved basically over to, this is really weird, it's like my own personal experiment, but I did Google it. It is a thing that I have been using only oils. Because my skin is just so sapped dry. Like it is just so unhappy. And I feel like if I put something on there that like accelerates cell turnover or tries to peel any part of my skin, even if it's just like a bakuchiol or something like that, it doesn't really heal anything. It like dries things up, but it doesn't really heal them. And if I really want to like heal something, I use my light stem, but I also just have been, I realize I have this crazy smorgasbord of oils. And that is what I have been doing. So maybe if you guys are interested, I'll share my routine, even though I'm not sure it really pertains to that many people. Still, some people like to watch that stuff. Okay, so I have kind of reconfigured my new mini palette here from Salt, New York, and I have a brand new contour. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have this contour. I can actually dip my brush in there, get as much product as I want, and not to worry, I have 3 more. So, we didn't put on any concealer. I don't know, just trying something new. Trying to mix it up today. I tend to, when I do like an all cream look, you know, reapply my concealer at the end anyway. So maybe we'll just save it for the end. So I think we talked in my last Get Ready With Me, my last chatty one, the Ilia video, which by the way, thank you guys. That was like a video I did not expect to get as much positive attention as it did, but apparently it was very useful to people. So I think I'm gonna do more of those like full face hits and misses videos, probably like Kosas next or things like that, especially brands that have come out and like been around since I started my channel, because I feel like those are the brands that I've tried everything from, so yeah. Anyway, in that video, I talked about how I had been to the doctor and I have been like suffering from so much fatigue lately. And it's hard to know whether something is pregnancy related, since this is my first pregnancy, being like, I don't know if pregnancy just make you sleep all the time or if something's genuinely wrong. And of course, these things always tend to come to fruition on the weekends. And so I'm sitting there on that stupid after hours nurse line and no one knows how to help me. So put a pin in that for a second. Okay, so I took a vote on Instagram and I asked you guys which one of the Patrick Ta blushes that I should try. And we ended up with the rosy one that's called She's That Girl. And low key, I really thought I had ordered the other one. Like I thought we had decided on apricot for some reason. So because this is a powder and a cream, I was very concerned that the powder and the cream were going to mix together, and that is why I ordered this, honestly, because I just kind of wanted to know. Fortunately, there's a little cover over the cream because Patrick Ta's a smart guy. And so the only thing here is I want to go ahead and at least put a little bit of a powder down, and we're gonna do a little bit of a powder look on my cheeks just so we can test the combo here of the powder plus the cream, because you're supposed to go powder and then put the cream on top. I tried to make yogurt yesterday because, I don't know, my gut is all kinds of screwed up. And by the way, I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. You guys did sound off in my Is It Cruelty Free video, and y'all were like, you know, as soon as she found out that her stuff was being used in a pop-up or whatever in China, mainland China, they pulled it and blah, blah, blah. And so like she is actually, you know, taking a lot of accountability for that. But of course we're on standby as far as who she sells to and what that changes. But anyway, I'm gonna use this bronzer. So I tried to make yogurt, and I have made it in the past. And I've always used an actual store-bought yogurt as the starter, which is a perfectly fine thing to do, but you can't grow your own starter that way. I'm really into fermentation right now. I don't know if you guys saw my last vlog. It just came out yesterday. And it was all about sourdough. I made my own gluten-free sourdough, and it is a godsend. It is like a life-changing moment for me. But if you haven't watched that vlog, it's linked on my front page. It's called More Khaki. So we are big into fermentation. It's just something that's kind of happened during quarantine. I feel like it's just like, what can I make at home? And especially, I mean, don't get me started, but like I definitely miss Brad on Bon Appetit. Like, you know, if he's not gonna ferment, I guess I'm gonna ferment. I fermented it with a new powder culture yesterday, thinking I'm going to start my own freaking yogurt culture, and I'm gonna have, you know, something that I can keep building on, because there's something in my brain that says if you keep building it off of store-bought yogurt, what is the point? Because you're buying yogurt and then you're making yogurt. You want to be self-sufficient, you want to be self-sustaining, and you want, you know, the starter to be able to kind of like, you know, grow and mature over time and things like that. Okay, well, I have bought this same starter from Cultures for Health, and I've used it twice, and both times it has absolutely belly flopped. The first time I incubated the yogurt for 12 hours and it never came together. It was basically like kefir, wishful thinking kefir. And then yesterday I only incubated it for 10 hours and I put it in the fridge, thought it was gonna be okay, woke up this morning and it was a curdly mess that had completely separated to the point that if I put it on the internet, I think I might get demonetized. Like, it's so nasty looking, and I only saved it for long enough to show it to Mike, and I took one picture, and then I poured it out. So this is something that I need a lot more practice on, but I did not, needless to say, have yogurt for breakfast this morning. I don't know where that yogurt tangent came from. I'm sorry. And you're welcome. Okay, so I freaking love this bronzer, by the way. I know that I actually told you guys that in my favorites already. It's not surprising, but it's just such an excellent color for pale, untanned skin because it genuinely bronzes me in a way that looks believable and not orange at all. So anyway, all that talk about Patrick Ta, let's go ahead and do that. What shall we put that on with? A little fluffy brush here, maybe? So anyway, I got all those tests run at the doctor last Tuesday, a week ago today. And I love my doctor's office, I do, but my doctor was not in at that moment, and so I went to see a different one. She was also lovely, but they ran all these tests on me because I was having so much discomfort and so much fatigue, and they basically came back and told me nothing was wrong, and that was what I told you guys in that video. Like, they can't find anything, basically. I love that Patrick Ta makes a blush that you can control the pigmentation on. I love that it doesn't just like aggressively cover your face in pigment and then you can't get your way out of it again. Oh my gosh, I'm actually really glad we went with the rose color. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm getting carried away. Oh, it feels like a real, like, meadow flush. Like I'm running around in a meadow of daisies, and oh, I just got this beautiful rosy flush on my cheeks. Wow. So I think I'm actually going to use his other blush before I go in with the cream. So I'm taking forever to tell this story. So Sunday, they start calling me like over and over and over again, my doctor's office, wanting to cryptically discuss my lab results with me, and they kept leaving a number on my voicemail that didn't go anywhere. I was like losing my mind, and I would call the after hours line and I would wait on hold forever, and then they'd be like, well, this is the after hours line, we don't have your test results. And I was like, then who does? Why are people calling me multiple times a day and I can't get hold of anybody, and I just want to know what the heck's going on? So, without getting too graphic, a whole bunch of other kind of longer term tests came back in, and girl, I got everything, okay? It went from you got nothing to you got everything. We're gonna give you an ointment for this, we're gonna give you an antibiotic for that. My hoo-ha's broken, my pooper's broken, my bladder's broken. Everything except the things that are making baby are broken. I have to turn the air off. We have a castaway. You wanna come here? Come here. What's up, internet? Hey, Peach. He hates everything. That's Bruce. That's our little feral cat. I opened the door to go to the bathroom, and of course he ran in here, so I had to make him have a cameo. So now we have this cream. In my life, I have used a cream on top of powder products. It works actually beautifully, but you want to be careful. You gotta be pretty careful. So I am going to dip into that with a dense Thrive brush here. And again, this is a very balmy formula. The same kind of thing as the powder, in the sense that there's not a terminal amount of pigment to it. And you can see it's got like a sheen to it. The actual, sorry if I'm blinding you. The actual cream blush has a sheen to it. It's like got a balmy sheen. And so hopefully that means it's kind of got a little bit of play in the formula. So if any of you guys also follow Kate the Great Beauty, she, I believe, has the more apricot colorway, and she has such beautiful like golden undertones. She wears those colors just, I mean, orange is her color. It looks incredible on her. She wears it with a coral lip that goes like right along with it. I haven't watched the video, but I've just seen it on Instagram, and she looks amazing. So this is a really good reason for like why I haven't put my concealer on yet, because we need some concealer now to sort of just balance everything out. But take that into the hairline here. Oh, I'm feeling really cute. Maybe I'll get the coral one too. Khaki, stop it. You don't need more blush. Oh, I do need more blush. I always need more blush. So yeah, everything's wrong with me. And again, like the main symptom that I've been feeling is just overwhelming fatigue. I think I clocked like 16 hours in naps last week, okay? And we're talking sleeping like 3 hours at a go. It's not okay. It's not sustainable. And I mean, there are people who are like, that's what pregnancy is, and that was fine with me, but I'm not even 6 months. I feel like we need some dimension here. I'm gonna go back into my salt palette. I'm gonna do some rosy stuff, I think. So anyway, hoping, because I talked to the nurse yesterday, I was like, so all these things that you guys are saying are wrong with me and all this medicine that you're prescribing me to take, is that gonna help with how crappy I feel all the time right now? And she's like, well, you know, a UTI can cause fatigue symptoms. And I'm just like, all right, well, fingers crossed, because I would just love to have some energy back. I am getting really sick of sleeping, to be honest. And it's completely disrupted like my upload schedule and everything, but at the same time, that's gonna be bound to happen. You know, eventually I'm going to have to succumb to this, but I am not even yet in my 3rd trimester. My 3rd trimester starts on Monday, and that is when I go in for my glucose test. I want to thank one of my lovely viewers who has been very candid with me about her pregnancy experience, and she goes, you know, they're not going to tell you this, but you can choose to eat a bunch of jelly beans instead of drinking the nasty glucose syrup that they want you to drink for your diabetes test, your gestational diabetes test. And I asked my doctor about it, and I immediately realized that my doctor is not pro jelly beans on a personal level. She completely acknowledges that it works, but her immediate response was, oh, come on, the drink is just like flat Sprite. Can you really eat 35 jelly beans in 5 minutes? And I was like, yes. And when I said to my mom, my doctor asked me if I could eat 35 jelly beans in 5 minutes, and my mom goes, yeah. Because she is me. And then my doctor said, well, and it's like not Easter time, so it's gonna be really hard to source jelly beans. And my mom goes, no, it's not. You just, if you like jelly beans, you know where to look. And then I said to my doctor, I said, well, all of that still sounds actually a lot more appealing than drinking the syrup drink. But I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is a BYO beans situation. And she goes, yes, this is a BYO beans situation. So I'm going to try and eat 35 jelly beans in 5 minutes on Monday for my glucose test. So cross your fingers for me. I don't think it's gonna be that challenging. Okay, so that was a little bit of the Salt New York highlighter. I do want to do a little bit of concealing underneath my eyes. What do I have here? I'm actually gonna use the concealer, just because I feel like I can get a lot of bang for my buck with a couple of dots. My goodness, guys. I know I complain about this all the time, but the pigmentation is so real. I appreciate my freckles, and I appreciate pregnancy, and I have like no vanity that's going to make me like, you know, start overriding my doctor's recommendation and like start using retinol when I'm not supposed to or something like that. But I can't wait. I can't wait to get back to my old girl retinol. Like, I am so excited to do some choice brightening. It's not that I've like mined my freckles, it's just I get weird like pigmentation spots everywhere, like especially on my mustache area. I'm sorry, there's like no way I'm ever going to be able to embrace that. I'm also, you guys, this is terrible, but like my guilty pleasure is shopping for like fall clothes, post-pregnant fall clothes. Yeah, I love fashion and I love getting dressed, and literally the thing that like helps me doze off in the evening is just thinking about different outfit ideas. And that it's not necessarily reflected in the way that I look, I don't think, because I'm not, you know, like a fashion blogger or anything. But I do love clothes, and I love kind of experimenting with silhouettes and stuff. Man, you want to talk about something that flies right in the face of experimenting with silhouettes? Try carrying a baby in your belly, man. Nothing works, like nothing fits. And I get it, you know, there are maternity clothes and I think a lot of people look really cute in them. I've always been really boyish and I like wearing boy silhouettes, and there's really nothing boyish about carrying a baby in your belly. It's distinctly feminine. It's a very woman thing. And so I have been sort of embracing, or attempting to embrace, I feel like, my femininity a little bit more, but I'm ready to shed her. I'm done. My poor mother, I swear, all she hears from me all day long is how ready I am to be done. Mainly, I just want to meet the baby. We got the snoo in the mail yesterday. Oh my gosh, yes. We paid a fortune for a bassinet that will automatically rock our child back to sleep. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, I'm taking ages to do my complexion here, but wow. Very pretty. And the smoothing primer from Thrive, absolutely no complaints whatsoever. I think that that's the main thing that I want from a primer, is like, do your job, and I don't want to notice you after I've put you on. And so yeah, I feel like everything is blurred and not complaining, and I like that a lot. Also, that was fewer blush shades than I typically use, and I really feel like we accomplished something nice here. Something that I've been like inspired by recently was Alana Davison did this like catch-up video where she was just explaining where she had been and everything, and her makeup looked incredible. It was just kind of this like blown out brow, like lots of freckles and everything. I think she pigments very similarly to me, like she gets a lot of freckles in the summertime, and she just had this beautiful like soft bronzy eye look. And I mean, I think that that's more her thing, you know. It wasn't necessarily her stepping outside of her comfort zone, but to me, I got inspired by that eye and eyebrow like combo. So I am going to go in with the simplest, this is what I've been doing lately, again with the Ilia Cool Nude. I do like to, and I do want to continue to re-include things on my channel that I've used previously that I still really like, even if that's boring to people. I want to present a slightly more realistic expectation of like getting more use out of your products and not always doing like a different look every single day. Like there are just things that I love, and this shade in the Cool Nude palette from Ilia is just so lovely. So I just do this. This is the first thing that I do. I don't like put down a transition shade or anything. I just put it all over my lid. And you could probably get more wear time out of it with a primer or something like that. If you're wearing an all cream look underneath it, it might start to degrade a little bit more quickly than you would want it to. So, you know, pick your fighter. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a flat brush here and distribute that in just like a nice soft fashion all around. Something else that I've been actually feeling really motivated for, but like I kind of feel almost like a phantom limb syndrome for, this is interesting, but like, you know, I have an art degree and I have a lot of creative energy, and I feel like you have even more creative energy when you are trying to prepare for a baby. Like all your hormones are firing like a million miles an hour telling you to get everything ready. I'm not sure if I've said this in a vlog already, but like there's always these like reductive names for everything in pregnancy, and they're just like, oh yeah, mood swings, oh, nesting. They are so much more complex than the reductive names that everything is given. And nesting is actually just like an overwhelming sense of needing to do things, which is probably why I'm baking bread and making yogurt and things like that. It's just a small manifestation of it. But the thing that my poor husband had to contend with was that I was like, it was like I wanted to tie up every loose end that I'd had in the last 5 years. You know, I wanted to like move houses and plant trees, and I wanted to like get new flooring, and I mean, I was like putting in a deck in my brain, you know, like poor guy. I was changing my mind every single day. Yeah, I finally had to just kind of recognize it for what it was and chill just a little bit. But it has manifested as this sort of floating creative urge, and I don't know what to do with it. I like tried painting. That didn't work. I'm not a particularly like gifted painter when it comes to creativity. I'm very good at rendering things. I'm very good at making things look realistic, but that gives me no pleasure whatsoever. And so as far as like, you know, creating an outlet for myself, I don't feel like I have that right now. And I'm thinking about downloading, what's it called? Procreate on my iPad. I have Sketch Club, and I like Sketch Club, but Procreate seems even better. and I just maybe want to make some cute digital art. I don't know, just trying to embrace the urges that I have at the moment, because yeah, I don't know what to do with all of this weird kind of like creative energy. Plus, oh my gosh, you guys. So, right, that's like not very blended. I end up with like eyeshadow all the way to my temple. That is exactly what's happening. I recently, in fact, it was my mother by way of a friend of hers. I don't know, I showed her Yona Yinton, who I'm not pronouncing her name right. But yeah, I showed my mom Yona Yinton, and she was like, oh, I can do you one better. And I was like, I'm listening. And it was a creator with millions and millions of subscribers, so I am far, far late to the party, named Li Ziki, which, you know, in Chinese, it's last name, first name. She is a Sichuan Chinese woman, around 30 or something, and she lives in a remote, like, homesteading village, like a farming village, and she makes the most beautiful content of, like, harvesting and planting and cooking and preparing and making all of her own clothes and building her own furniture, and I mean, it is just... it is the best, but it also is like, I have never had as much energy in a week as she has in one day. The woman is absolutely unstoppable. She's amazing. And just the scenery and the music and everything, it's just done so beautifully. I will link her channel below if for some reason you're unfamiliar with it, but lately all I've been wanting to do is relax. Mainly because I'm like, it's like obligatory. My body only wants to sleep. I'm gonna do my brows. But yeah, if you guys know of any really beautiful, relaxing, and I'm not talking about like ASMR, that stuff. I have misophonia. Someone smacking into a microphone is just like, makes me want to leave my body. But that kind of content, that just beautiful, relaxing content that basically is like a warm bath in the form of a YouTube video. If y'all know of any other stuff like that, feel free to leave those in the comments below, especially because when someone like that, a creator like that, puts so much work into their content, this is the least we can do to at least watch it. I think one of the biggest themes in my life lately has been this idea, like this impending feeling of like needing to reprioritize, because of all of the changes in my energy levels, and because I realize I'm like not in control of my future to a large degree, especially like what's coming down the pike for me in October. And to me, it has just kind of like, I don't know, it's just shuffled a lot of my ideas of like where I place my value for myself, and, you know, having like questions around productivity and things like that, and how to find that self-worth outside of that, because I'm not really sure, you know, exactly how many videos I'm going to be able to put out and how inspired I'm going to be and things like that. And so I've just kind of tried to open my mind a little bit and create space for new potential. And I have worked so hard on this channel. By the way, thank you for 40,000 subscribers. Are you guys kidding me? That is a number I never even fathomed. That is so stinking cool. I feel like a roaring success. And don't worry, you're not going to see one of those like, I'm quitting YouTube videos from me anytime soon. I am just, I think more so always in a constant like exercise in my brain, like an ebb and flow, like a build and plateau process of trying to keep things fresh on my channel. And I think that that is mainly me taking inventory of what inspires me. But something that I, especially in all of my crazy fatigue lately, have vastly underestimated is actually the power that getting ready and like that beauty can have. And I know that that's something that we observe all the time, but again, it's an ebb and flow. No ideas are completely new. I'm going to use the Ilia, like this deep shade right here that's a little bit sparkly. I don't know, I've always had like an interesting relationship with beauty, right? Where I was a hairdresser for a long time, and just to, you know, sum it up quickly here, I was sort of forced to wear a whole lot of makeup and be presentable for, you know, for other people for a long time. And I think that that kind of made me think that I needed to rebel against beauty and rebel against beauty standards. And then, you know, starting my channel and really like going full tilt into it in the beginning of 2018, and just the understanding that I was sort of pushing through a feeling of not wanting to embrace beauty standards, but still feeling like I needed to in order to fit in on the platform. And just watching the evolution of that on my channel, of being like, no, if there are things that I don't want to do to my face and I don't feel beautiful when I do them, there's probably a community out there who also feels the same way, who wants to put less makeup on, who wants to not spend so much time doing it, but still wants to feel beautiful, and that there's a very large place for that on this platform. Like, that is, I think, my favorite takeaway for my channel, you know, at a milestone like 40,000 subscribers right now, because I go so long sometimes right now because I'm so tired and because I just, you know what I mean? Like, I just have so many other things that are like commanding my energy that I do go days without putting makeup on. And then, like, I watched myself in a vlog yesterday that I was, you know, that I was editing, and there was like a moment where I went from wearing no makeup to wearing makeup, and I was like, God, that looks so good. Like, that's just, it's a 5-minute amount of makeup that's on my face, and it just feels so pretty. And you realize that, like, it's not shallow, it's not petty, it's not like this dumb thing that everybody wants to reduce it to. Not everybody, but a lot of people, you know, think that beauty and, you know, oh, makeup is so shallow. It's just us trying to kind of like, you know, fit in and impress one another, or like, you know, conform to beauty standards. It's like, no, not necessarily. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love how I look. I'm going to enhance that. And I'm going to, you know, make sure that I'm like honoring all of these things about my face that I enjoy, kind of thing. And boy, being pregnant has really morphed my ability to love myself as I change. I think that that was something that was like a huge lesson for me, was just learning to love a moving target because I took so long in my life learning to love just who I was, and I felt like I needed to stand still in order to do that, in order to like concentrate on everything about myself. But, you know, pregnancy is not, it has nothing to do with staying the same. There is no staying the same that is happening. And so, yeah, as my big belly changes, I'll show you guys. That's my belly. Boop, boop, boop. As all of that changes, oh my gosh, do you know what I have? I'm gonna use this. I really don't know if I like this, but it's super interesting and you guys might wanna see it. So this is the Lash Freak from Urban Decay. This is their new mascara that they just sent me. And I also just bought the new Hourglass tubing mascara. So that's gonna be a wear test, but this thing is flipping strange. What does that even look like? It's like a little dinosaur, an alligator or something. I don't know, but it's definitely kind of hard to use. We're gonna wipe a lot of that product off. And I've worn this one time before, and it does have a completely normal wash off. You know, it still gives you raccoon eyes and stuff, so not my fave in that sense, but this is my first experience, oh no, having Urban Decay send me something in PR. So, you know, I'm just excited about that, but I'm not sure she's it. It is so dramatical. And if you're like, dramatical's not a word, Khaki, I know. Flavor Flav used to use it all the time. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna stop because we are making like crazy spiky eyelashes and I'm not gonna reload my brush. That is so crazy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that it's not so much to me about everything being new and always staying on top of everything that's being released and things like that. It's more so about nailing down the products that make feeling beautiful more possible and feeling more beautiful more possible, you know, like just having access to the things that not only make you feel pretty, but that are like fun to use and fun to put on and fun to interact with. You know, like all my cream blushes and everything, like that collection, just looking at it brings me so much pleasure. I have to finally just admit to myself, you know, as much as I enjoy getting rid of things and I enjoy kind of like staying on top of like a cluttered situation, because I do have a natural tendency towards clutter, but that I don't actually thrive in a minimal environment. I like color, I like maximalism, I like things, I like smells, I like sensory things, I love pampering myself, I I like things. And that was something that I kind of had to admit to myself, because there's a certain degree of guilt, right, to accumulating as much as I accumulate for my channel, and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so self-indulgent. It's all just beauty, beauty, beauty. Like, am I that big of a narcissist? But I think that the greater project is just bringing things to people that bring me so much pleasure. And to me, if I have things that suck, that don't bring me pleasure, and I can save somebody that, that trouble of knowing that, and just kind of distill it down to the best of the best, that's the object of the game. And for that reason, I don't know, that reinvigorated me on my channel, just because, again, learning to love a moving target, I realize every time that I have these sorts of epiphanies, there's someone else out there that feels like that. And that's like the beauty of community, right? The beauty of creating community around beauty. And I don't know, I've been thinking about this stuff a lot, guys. I'm gonna say that was like a very, as we're talking about things being good, but things being like fun to use, that's a pretty mascara, but that was not fun. That was a really unpleasant and anxious experience, because there's like almost no spikes on the actual brush itself, and there's so much product happening so quickly. And I've heard people complain about that from Thrive, like talking about how it all happens too quickly, it all builds too quickly. Like, that was crazy how quickly that built. So yeah. What do we have for my lips today? I want to chase that Alana Davison feeling, and she had kind of a nude situation going on. I think that my next video is going to be about, I mean, granted, I want to do more 5-minute faces, and I want to do more of the hits and misses videos of just like, specific brands, but I do want to do a video of like all makeup artist owned brands, because I think that they're different for a really good reason. And if you guys have, I do want to try, what's his name that's always on Tati's channel? I cannot remember his name. J-Lo's makeup artist. Either way, he is one guy that I've not tried anything from that I really want to. I just like him. And his makeup looks cool too. But if there are any other, especially Black owned brands, let me know in the comments of like makeup artist owned brands that you think are absolutely like unmissable, because those are the kinds of things that I want to feature on my channel. So just going in here. I don't know, should we do like a lipstick? Do I have a lipstick? Do I have a lipstick is a really funny question. Eileen. But yeah, everything that I've covered today, I think it's been, hey, I want to share my skincare routine with you guys. Hope that's okay. Even though I don't consider myself a skincare authority, I will probably be sharing some pamper favorites here soon, because that's literally all my my waking hours have been about, is like taking magnesium baths and just trying to feel better. So I'm becoming quite an expert on self-care. These Rowan glosses are the best. Also, I know it's not Libra season yet. Where's she going with this? But I am having another urge to dye my hair pink. Especially now that my hair is longer. There's not very much blonde left, but I'm thinking about like putting just a little bit more blonde in it, like, a little bit of balayage or something, and just getting some pink back in my hair. I don't know, I need to feel more, again, like creative expression. It's so funny. Do you guys ever have those like, I don't know, aesthetic crises where you're like, I feel like I need to occupy so many different spaces at one time because I'm just like overwhelmed with inspiration? That's where I'm at right now. I'm almost in like a paralysis of inspiration. She says, as she does a makeup look inspired by someone else that looks very, very similar to something that she always does, but that's okay. Makeup to me is like a comfort zone. It's like a happy place, whereas like creativity can be very like, it's supposed to be an uncomfortable place. And so I do feel like makeup being a place where I know the colors that I want to play in is perfectly fine. I think, again, anytime I feel a way like that, there's probably people out there who feel the same, and they're probably really grateful that I'm not like, painting my eyes neon green every day. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys out, and we will get some final thoughts on the new stuff that I used today. Don't I need pink hair? don't you think that it needs to be pink again? I still have some of the pink conditioner, but it's not enough of the like really intense pink that it would actually, I think it would just kind of tinge it. I think I might order some more overtone. Oh, I was gonna put on some frack. Let's do that. You know, when it comes to pigmentation, if you can't beat them, join them. You know? I repeat, it just can go such a long way to just take a little bit of time and put myself together. It just makes all the difference in the world. So, this, by the way, I have it in the shade White Pearl T1W. This is so awesome. And actually one of my viewers, April, who I think I've mentioned in like every video recently, she is complected similarly to me. She's very like close to porcelain. She ended up buying this at the same time that I did. She was one of the people who recommended that not recommended, but like asked that I would review it the cure-wise, that if you didn't watch that video, she didn't work out. So she did end up also buying the Oma concealer on my recommendation, sent me a photo of herself when she tried it, and she was like, this is incredible stuff. It is incredible stuff, and so I am pleased to say that this is not one of those brands that has like a disparate idea of how to formulate one and not the other kind of thing, and the foundation also has its own like brilliant charm to it, and I love it because yes, it is a full coverage skin finish foundation, but you guys saw, I could put it where they have such a good shade range especially, I could put it where I wanted it, blend it, wipe it off where I didn't want it, and it didn't leave any weird texture differences, and it spreads out really, really beautifully. I like things that give me options like that, so that's super, super exciting. So really cannot recommend this brand enough. I really regret not trying it sooner, basically. And as far as blushes are concerned, guys, I am definitely like not hard to impress with blush. You know, I do think that it was gutsy for him to put out a cream and a powder together, because obviously that's like something that is kind of discouraged on the platform. Is just, you know, as far as like the old-fashioned way of doing YouTube makeup, it was like, you know, very powder, very cream. I've been stuck in that mindset for a long time too. I'm glad that we kind of broke the mold here, and I think that this is really lovely. I actually do think that this was the right color choice for me. I wouldn't mind the apricot. If someone were to like send it to me, I would use the crap out of it, but I'm not unhappy with this at all. I think that it's incredibly pretty, and I like the amount of like color saturation that I was able to get with the combination of a powder and a cream. I think that that's like a really interesting, it's like, yes, it left a beautiful texture on my skin. I think that that's the whole point, but you get so much more color payoff from a powder, and then to be able to kind of like put a cream on top of it and still achieve that finish. Yes. And I want to thank Alana Davison for giving me a little inspo on like the eyes and the brows and everything. I think that that turned out really nice. If I haven't iterated it enough, this is just absolutely like, I hate to say that this is worth every penny, but I just have not found a shade like this in a bronzer. So thank you, Charlotte Tilbury, for catering to my pale buns. And you know, if you guys have not checked out Salt New York, what are you doing, honestly? I'm so glad to finally have a refill on all of this, and the mini palette is just so cute. The older one, the big one, right here, this guy, beautiful, easy to travel with, love it so much, but it kind of is, you know, a makeup artist size, and this is very much just like a normal beauty user kind of size, I guess, you know, if you want to have a very minimal collection. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. They're so awesome. And then the Lash Freak mascara from Urban Decay. Girl, I just think that we jumped the shark, okay? I don't think it's a bad formula. In fact, because my life is the way that it is right now, I fell asleep wearing this the first day that I wore it and didn't do too badly. It didn't like flake too much or like, you know, smear everywhere or anything. The formula is fine, but I don't think that they're really talking about formula with this. They're talking about the shape of the brush being freaky. And it's got, you know, two funky little grooves. It's got this flat side on it that you're supposed to use. I don't know exactly. I think you're supposed to use it to kind of like push your lashes up and get a little bit of curl out of them. And there's also like the little round end that also has spikies on there. But it's just, I think we overthought mascara a little bit, guys. I think we overthought it. So those are my takes. And you guys know, if you are new to my channel, you might not know, I am hypercritical of mascaras because there really are so few that behave like the one that I love. Now, one of y'all did just tell me that Hard Candy, sold at Walmart, put out a tubing mascara that might be worth trying. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. A $7 tubing mascara. I mean, I'm listening. And I love how my makeup turned out today. So I just really appreciate, especially again, at a milestone like 40,000, like just being able to get on here and share my personal weird little take on beauty with a bunch of really amazing people who, for whatever reason, seem to value my point of view. So thank you. I'm a little all over the place today. I'm just excited to have a little bit of energy for the first time. So cross your fingers for me that all the hilarious medications that I'm on actually do something for me. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. A lot of you guys already did because there's 40,000 on you, so I love you. It's so awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.